It was weird, eh, Will?
It was. So, I mean, it was,
Hold on, guys. It's Friday, May 31st, Saturday, May 1st, if you're on the East Coast, across the pond, or down under. And this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. Hope you had a great day and night heading into the weekend. I am your host, Dave Scott, broadcasting to you live from the Great White North, on top of the mountains of central British Columbia, right here at SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, currently under construction, is spacedoutradio.com. Don't worry, boys and girls, the Gavinator is on duty. Tonight's show is brought to you by the YouTube channel in Suho. Sebastian Martin brings high-quality messages to the masses. Head to his YouTube channel and subscribe today. The final Friday of the month means it's time to take a look back at the month that was as we bring you the SOR Paranormal Round Table. Tonight, we are joined by the paranormal lawyer, Michael W. Hall, UFO researcher, William Pullin, and GUFON Radio's Rich Giordano. We're going to get into a lot of heavy topics tonight, but I got to start off with a little bit of a rant here. Normally, I don't do this, but I think it's time. I'm a little PO'd right now because, literally, there has been a new hatch of mosquitoes in my area. And by God, they love Dave. Much like you, the audience, loves Dave, these mosquitoes love me more. So I am literally covered in mosquito bites just from taking my dog outside. Don't like it. So a little bit later on this evening, while I'm in a Twitter battle with a bunch of people who are praying to Tom DeLonge and the UFO gods, Mrs. SOR sends me a text message. Hey, come outside with me. I got the dogs outside. And it's a beautiful night here. Believe it or not, it's 9 o'clock. It's still daylight here. Sun hasn't gone down. So I go to put my shoes on. And I feel something in my shoe. I go to take my shoe off to figure what? Have I got a piece of my son's Lego in my shoe? And then I get stung by a wasp on my foot. Well, that just added to the crankies by about 10. Total. Now I'm upset. Then there was this gentleman on Twitter tonight who decided to call me jealous and to call our show a little podcast, because we're jealous that our little podcast has not been given permission to have anybody from To the Stars on. And why would they come on your little show? First off, Chuck from KZFX and I just did the numbers a couple of weeks ago. We added up all of our listenership numbers that we were able to get, and we equaled that out to about anywhere. We have a listening audience area of 177,000 people nightly. Does that mean they're all tuning in? No, that's impossible to tell. But we can hit a listener base of around 177,000 people nightly. That's a lot of people. That's 2 metropolises, almost. A guy named Matt Melvin on Twitter is the guy who did it. All right. Okay, this is what he said. He goes, Dave, you're not going to like this. Please take it as I intended and not the first way it may sound. Reputable outlets are exactly who TTSA has been working with. A little community paper called the New York Times, for example. Their stated goal, which they seem to be achieving, is to take the topic out of the fringe and make it mainstream. I like your podcast. I follow you here, but I have to break it to you. A show called Spaced Out Radio is fringe. You have a chip on your shoulder because they won't return your calls, but you're letting that get in the way of some of the amazing things they are doing. Believe it or not, this is sent with respect. No, it's not. Because if people, there's 2 people out here, 2 types of people that I want to remind all of you of. Number 1, we're dealing with people who are controlling whom they are talking to. Nobody wins when the media is controlled. It doesn't matter if it's the alternative media, the mainstream media, or any media. The minute the media is controlled, the message is lost. And people listening to this need to wake up to this. Number 2, there are thousands of experiencers out there. People who have seen a UFO. You're an experiencer. People who have lived in a paranormal place or worked in a place. You're an experiencer. People who have been abducted or had ET contact. You are an experiencer. Where is the love for those people where all they want is answers? They're not getting answers because they are now redefining UFO to UAP, and they are separating aliens and extraterrestrials from UFOs. Yet in the same breath, they're telling the public, we don't think this technology we are seeing is of this world. Well, if it's not of this world, it is extraterrestrial. And people out there can't see the BS that is being pulled over their eyes. And I'm tired of it. Don't insult the show because we're growing. We're growing for a reason. We're growing because people are trusting that we are calling things down the middle, that we're not taking sides, that we just want answers. Don't insult the listeners because they have a different opinion and may want some extra questions answered. Don't insult the guests because the guests have a differing opinion than you. We're allowed to have an opinion. That's what freedom is, whether you're in Canada like I am or the United States or anywhere you are in this world listening. We got to open up. We got to think. Why is this happening? Gentlemen, thank you for letting me rant. Let's get this thing going on the SOR Paranormal Round Table. Rich Giordano, Michael W. Hall, William Pullin. We got a hell of a panel tonight, a very brilliant panel, and we're going to kick things off right off the bat here. Gentlemen, the one question that I'm not seeing anybody ask, whether it's To the Stars Academy, whether it is the Pentagon, or anybody of the sort, why is nobody asking, after 70 years, why now? Michael W. Hall, I'm going to start with you on this one. Being the paranormal lawyer, you're a former judge in Washington State. You're a former attorney, actually, you're a current attorney, including the attorney of this show. I want to know that answer. Why is nobody asking why now after 70 years of cover-up?
Well, Dave, you hit the nail on the head right there. My gosh, anybody who's been in ufology for as long as you have, and and William and Rich have, basically knows that this is unprecedented, what's going on right now. The whole idea of them coming out right now is the big hidden question. It's not, are they extraterrestrial? It's not, are these UFOs real? It's, why are they doing this so aggressively at this point? And obviously they're going for credibility. They're using, the military. They're using the Navy pilots, the officers that were there with eyes on the subjects that go along with these gun camera footages. They're being very, very credible. And in just a few more, minutes, less than an hour, we're going to be inundated from the brand new History Channel series, Unidentified, which is going to be even more and more serious in that regard. So, there's all sorts of theories why now, but I swear there has got to be some major agenda coming down to do it so swiftly and succinctly right now. This is just amazing that we are living at a time right now where they are just about to, I believe, come out with some major announcements, but obviously they need to stay ahead of the spin. And we're going to talk about that tonight on the show of why we think they're doing that, because that's the question to be answered.
Rich Giordano, we just talked about this moments ago on GUFON Radio when I hopped in and kind of pirated your show like a space pirate that Ted Cruz wouldn't want to be around.
All right.
What's your thoughts on this?
A lot. Well, okay. It is something we've never seen before, at least in my 15 years being around here. I've never seen a narrative continue. Usually there was a sighting over the O'Hare airport, and then nothing for a year or two. And it would be a totally different story. This is a continuing story. This has players. This has a story to it. There's drama. There's curiosity. There's infighting. There's all sorts of stuff going on. But the main thing we have to think about is what you and I talked about. Why now? Well, there's a lot of theories, correct, ton of them. But what really makes sense to me is I think something happened recently, and it's creating this narrative that has to come out now for some reason or another. Now, they're doing the credibility factor first. They're changing the narrative. UAP was a Navy term, was a government term. They didn't use UFO. UFO was too much of, a bunch of hoopla that came with it. So they called it UAP. Nonetheless, it's a phenomena in their eyes. These aren't always flying. These are objects that appear and disappear in thin air. These are things that can do things that our ships can't, that our imagination can only think of. Now, they bring out the Navy. The Navy has these pilots, these radar guys, witnesses, and all sorts of guys with math and telling us how fast the crafts were going, 24,000 miles an hour or whatever it was, stopping on a dime. These are stories that just you don't hear every day from the government. So I have to think to myself, why now? Why? Why now? And you have to go back. You could even look back last year and see all the weirdness with Oumuamua. I mean, what is that about? They're calling that a possible alien ship. Why? I mean, that's weird. The Sunspot Observatory shut down for a while. That was weird. Why? Right around the time Oumuamua was flying around. I don't know. Call me weird, but that's too much of a coincidence. So, beginning of this year, a lot of secrecy with these satellites going up in orbit. A lot of satellites. China, Japan, especially us. I think there was 8 or 9 launches in the first 10 days of the year. A lot happened. I think something happened at the end of last year. I don't know if it was an attack on our satellites. I don't know. Maybe this is something to get us looking one way while they do something at the other way. It's so confusing right now, Dave. We just have to wait and see. I just don't know. And that's where I'm at. I think something happened, and they had to do this for whatever reason. Are the aliens waiting out there for us? Are they going to invade? Are they going to take over? Did we strike first? There's so many questions we don't have the answers to. But it is interesting. Never seen this before, and it always stops. Hope it doesn't.
To carry on with what Rich was saying, William Pullin, we bring you in here. You're a UFO researcher, former scientist. And by the way, I want to make something public here to you, William. I really appreciate the fact a couple times ago when I had you on the air, I called you a scientist, and you corrected me on the air. You said you were a former scientist. I like the fact that you did, and I thank you for that, because we got a lot of self-titlers out there right now who are calling themselves scientists, calling themselves investigative journalists. All right? And I called you a scientist, and you made damn sure to correct me on that. And I'm very thankful that you did, because you're proving that you are real. And that's why I gained a lot of respect from you for doing that. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're very welcome, sir. You and I are both about accuracy. And I go back to a post I wrote on my blog that somebody attached the term field investigator to me. And I wrote them an email saying I'm not. I examine data. I examine sighting reports. I haven't field investigated anything for about 8 years. So I don't want a incorrect title attached to my name. That's just how I am. But going to what Rich said, I've always professionally had the position that there's no motivation for the government or the military to release anything they may or may not have. It would take an event, to motivate them to change their procedure. Some motivation would have to come about that would cause them to change what they've been doing for decades. And if we attach the year of, let's say, around the time of World War II, around the time of the Foo Fighters, as the start of the modern UFO phenomenon. Since then, there have been efforts, whether you mention the Robertson panel or what the efforts are trying to do with Project Blue Book, there's always been an effort to tamp down on the UFO issue. Maybe not cover it up directly, but to tamp down on the importance that the public may attach to the UFO issue. That's changed a little bit. The media has approached this in a more legitimate manner. There's been scientists discussing this issue, which they never did before. So things have changed a little bit. And like you, my first thought was, why? Nothing's changed to this point until about 2 or 3 years ago. And my first thought was, usually it's the most simplest explanation that may be correct. And why would they change it would be maybe an event. That's what I thought at first. So
here's one of the things that I don't understand. Take TTSA right out of it. All right?
Yeah.
Nothing to do with them. Let's take the mainstream media for a second. A couple weeks ago in May, the Pentagon has a spokesperson say, yes, we have been investigating UFOs. And it's announced like it's a big shocker that, oh my word, they've been doing this.
Yeah.
Not a single member of the media who published those reports asked the Pentagon or its spokesperson, why now? It's the most important question that has not been asked. And yes, we can speculate what's happened, William, with this. We can speculate, did something happen that has brought this on? But if anybody does not trust me or anybody like William, Rich, or Michael who has said, look, there's a narrative being controlled here, that the mainstream media has never wanted this story, it's that right there. You have the Pentagon saying, yes, we are investigating UFOs, and not a single reporter asked them, William, about why have you been covering this up for 70 years? Why are you announcing it now? That's how dumb the mainstream media is to this topic. And if you don't believe me, do your own research on it. William, I'm curious your opinion.
You're exactly right. I mean, I would extend that to the UFO community in general. People are not asked why. Things have been conducted a certain way for decades. Now, since, let's say, 2017, last several years, things have changed. Why would things change to such a substantial degree? Clearly something happened. Whether it was an event or not, something transpired to make them change what they've been doing for decades. And so you would think, logically, people, especially researchers that are somewhat grounded, have some level of critical thought, would think, okay, why is this happening? It's such a simple question. Things have been happening a certain way for decades. Then there's a certain amount of change as to what's happening that beggars the question, why? But people are so, one, the national media is really not doing their homework. The general public is not really analyzing with the information they're getting. And the UFO community is so busy defending their own positions and arguing amongst themselves that they're not bothering to calm down and say, okay, why is this happening? Because that's a very important question. Regardless of the information that's being given to us, the question, why is this happening? Why is this change happening in such a short period of time is an important question, but it's not being asked. I'm with you, Dave. I don't know if things will change, but that's probably the most important question on the board. Why?
And nobody's asked it. You think it's a simple question. No. All these professional media reporters out there, and they haven't asked the question. If that doesn't prove why, William, that they don't want the story and because they're being forced to cover it, they don't know what to ask. It's that question right there. Michael W. Hall, I'm going to get your opinion on this. We got about 3 minutes before we got to go to break here, but I want to get to John's comment on Twitter here. John is a longtime follower at #SpacedOutRadio. He said, and he typed this during the rant that I had right off the top of the show. He said, Dave was one of the only few that was skeptical of TTS AAS early on. I have now come around to see it from Dave's perspective, and he was right all along. I'm glad he's out there offering his views professionally, and he's right. TTS should do more. He then followed up by saying, I'm not ashamed to admit you were right and I was wrong, but that's what real journalism is all about, and frankly, we need more of it in this world. Too many just engage in the propaganda. And that's hitting it right on the head. That's hitting it right on the head, that everybody wants this story, Michael. But nobody wants to ask any hard questions. Nobody wants to delve into the simplicity of the experiencer who just wants to know what's going on. We don't see it happening.
Yeah, Dave, this is the only kind of international radio show that you're going to hear this stuff talked about, these questions asked. The mainstream media, let's face it, I mean, how many owners does it take to control the world's media? Not very many. And they are not going to go out there and blow the agenda, that whatever the agenda is, there definitely is one at this point. You can just see it happening so quickly. And the fact that they're not asking those questions, the fact that even Lou Elizondo and these guys at TTSA coming out with this new series tonight called Unidentified on the History Channel. I mean, that thing is basically different. It's more serious, but I think the agenda behind that is basically to bring everybody to the conclusion that this stuff is kind of scary and maybe a threat, so we need to work on, dealing with this together. In other words, one world government eventually down the road kind of a thing. So, if indeed we're looking for a false flag event that's coming down the road, that this could be the next step. Who knows?
Rich, we got about 40 seconds. You got the final word.
No, but I like that. Yeah, because that's what's supposed to be next in the book of the Illuminati. It is. I'm not just joking around. That's the fifth thing, the final thing after we fight the terrorists off is the false flag alien invasion. Stephen Greer talked about it. Everybody's talked about it. Now we're waiting. People think this might be the beginning to that next process. Right now, they're changing the narrative. They're getting everybody used to UAP. We're all going to be on the same page. Got it? Then now we're going to go. Now that this TV show is going to explain the rest of it. And that's where we're at.
Well, we're going to see, because for many UFO junkies like we are, we have not seen the show Unidentified just yet. It's coming up tonight.
Yeah.
We're going to discuss Unidentified with William Pullin, Michael W. Hall, the Paranormal Lawyer, and from GUFON Radio, Rich Giordano. Paranormal Roundtable happens the final Friday of every month. We're going to get deep into it right after this on Spaced Out Radio. Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want, when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is Spaced Out Radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month, where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything has an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Fired up, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Hey, the sun is finally starting to go down here. It's kind of cool to watch. 9:37 Pacific, 12:30 a.m. Eastern, where the sun is already down. Nonetheless, if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can always check out all of our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. And of course, the Gavinator is working hard on our website, told me today he's hoping to have it wrapped up by the weekend. We shall see. The Gavinator working hard on the SOR website, coming soon with a brand new look. It's the Paranormal Round Table right here on Spaced Out Radio, where every final Friday of the month, I gather some researchers and radio show friends together to have a little chat about the month that was. We are joined by the paranormal lawyer himself, Michael W. Hall, UFO researcher William Pullin, who was just on the air a couple days ago with me, and GUFON Radio's Rich Giordano. Gentlemen, welcome back.
Glad to be back.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Now, I just want to say, I am very intrigued on what the social media reaction is going to be to Unidentified. For those who have not been in the UFO world wondering what is going on, Tom DeLonge's group, the To the Stars Academy, has their 6-show premiere tonight called Unidentified. And there's a lot of debate what's going to happen in these 6 episodes. There's been a lot of hype leading up to this the last couple of weeks. Rich, we're going to start with you on this one. Where do you think it's going to go? Are we going to see just a rehash of everything that the mainstream public really didn't seem to care about when it was released a year and a half ago with the New York Times article? Or are we going to see some new information?
On the TV show?
Yes.
Is that what you're asking? Okay, just making sure. You're going to get a little bit of like they did this with UFO Hunters, the last good TV show on UFOs, I think. They're going to show you some rehash stuff. And then they're going to show you something that you may have never seen before. I don't think we're going to see anything differently. Here's what I hope would happen, though. I would hope that the first couple of episodes will be setting up the players. And this is a 6-week event type of documentary, broken up to an hour. So we're going to get a continuing story each week. Leads off from, right? Isn't that what it's supposed to be? It's going to keep, just the story of what's going on with UFOs and the government. So I think they're setting up for the narrative that will be the next step. These first couple, maybe 2-3 episodes are going to rehash some things, of course. The Nimitz possibly, they're going to show why that's so important, who the players are that came forward, and everybody involved. Announcements of this person, especially Lou. And then they're going to talk about UAP, why they had to come out with that. And then they're going to probably talk about somebody heard a signal or saw more than they were supposed to, or a mixture of both. Or maybe it was a UFO sighting that we never heard of yet. And they're going to bring it up in episode 4. And then they're probably going to show us what they have as evidence of this craft. There was a crash in Mexico. So maybe they have a piece of that. I don't know. But it's very interesting to think these things up because anybody can be right. Because we don't know. We'll never know what's really going on until we see it. And that's what's frustrating. But we can only go by what the past has dictated. And it's dictated at dead ends. So we get to a certain point and then we don't hear anything about it again. It just goes into the ether. So this is a little different. I know we've talked about it already, how the continuing narrative, UAP, Fox News, it's continually going. So with this show, I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to continue the story, tell us things we need to know that we don't know yet, and maybe some more players introduced, and maybe see an alien ship on episode 6. I hope so.
Apparently, on Tucker Carlson tonight, it was announced that the To the Stars Academy actually has a piece of alien spacecraft.
Ain't that something? Look at that right there.
How it would come out just hours before showtime, and Luis Elizondo would mention that on Tucker Carlson.
That's too easy. It's too easy to predict. Yeah. Everything I said they're doing is coming true. This is all a ruse to something else. I'm not buying it. I take everything back I just said. I swear to God.
Michael
I'm serious. I'm sorry. I'm a little emotional right now because, it's that time of night. The show's coming on any minute. Everybody lies. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. Michael W. Hall, what do you think of Rich's comments? Where are you sitting on that?
No.
Well, I agree. I agree with Rich. I mean, there is basically the same. It's almost a predictable scenario going on. First of all, on Tucker Carlson today, Luis Elizondo is out there now confirming that these things are not from this world. I mean, let's put it that way. So obviously, the next step is that they're actually extraterrestrial. But they're not going there yet. They're just saying it's not from this world. We just don't know what it is yet. He confirmed during the Tucker Carlson interview that there is a very low probability that any of this technology is coming from another country or power on the planet. So basically, that's the first step, confirming the idea that this stuff is off planet. And then he snuck in this thing at the very end that Rich was talking about, the idea that, matter of fact, Tucker Carlson you got to give the guy kudos for having the guts to do this, because he put the tough question out there that I don't know if he would have had to do this, but he says, so, Mr. Elizondo, can you confirm or deny that the U.S. government has crashed craft or pieces of a crashed craft? And, of course, Lou dances around this quite a bit, kind of bringing up his NDA and saying, I don't know if I can go there in that regard and stuff. But at the very end, he says, yes, that they do have this material. And, of course, we all knew they had the material anyway, because they've been talking about it through, Bob Bigelow and everything like that. So they haven't actually disclosed the analysis of that stuff. So I'm hoping that they're going to get to that detailed analysis at one point during this 6-episode season of what the heck they found out from this stuff. One of the things that they mentioned in the past, right from the beginning, in that New York Times article that came out in 2017, they actually said that this material that they have that are from these crashed craft seem to affect the human physiology somehow. So they've actually teased us in that regard. And now Luis Elizondo is confirming that they got this stuff anyway. So I'm just wondering if Werner von Braun is just rolling over in his grave thinking, oh, my God, here they come with the whole alien kind of deal of an invasion, to control the narrative. I don't know. But that's exactly what we got to be discerning about at this point.
William Pullin, where do you think this show is going?
I still think it's a show. I mean, the history of the UFO phenomenon is littered with claims of UFO photographs, UFO recovered technology, organic material. None of these claims have held up under objective scrutiny. There's been no ability to peer review these claims. The evidence has never been made available to everybody to come to some consensus as to what it may or may not be. We're still there. They're making claims of they've recovered technology from a craft or this, that, the other. And the things they've said have been said before. You have unauthorized, unidentified aircraft in our airspace exhibiting flight characteristics that are above and beyond what we could do here on Earth. Well, that's been said since the 50s. We've yet to see the evidence out in front. And another issue I have is that the issue of integrity. You have this information being presented on a show. Well, shows are not put out there in a non-profit way. They're put out there for profit to sell advertising. It's a show. It's not a documentary. It's not a program put out there to simply give the information out for free for everyone to look at and come to their own conclusions. It's a television show. And I'm very leery about that entire scenario. I might be dead wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping this is a legitimate effort to release information about some level of disclosure, some level of interaction between aliens and humans. But I'm very cautious, and I won't believe it till I see it. But I'm proven wrong about this. But we'll see what transpires.
I wouldn't think they would want to put that kind of information on at 1 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday. You'd think they would want that kind of information in prime time if it was real information they were going to give us. So they put it on a Friday night, the worst night of the week, at the latest time of night. People are sleeping, going to bed, a little drunk. So why put it on so late where nobody's going to watch it if it's so important to that's why I think it's all bull. Because they're putting it on in a place nobody's really going to know about except for us. I'm all excited.
No, and you're right. And things have transpired before the premiere of the show in a way that it's common to other programs. When you have a new TV series premiering on a channel, regardless of the subject matter, you have a certain number of things that happen to promote the premiere, to remind people it's going to be on the air. So for the Tucker Carlson program to come on and certain things are said on that program just prior to the premiere of this show, that's how programs are promoted.
Yeah.
Nothing's really changed. So again, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I'm very leery about it. So.
Do you think we have a right to be, though? I mean, people get mad at us if we don't believe everything we hear, and I think that's not fair. I think what's fair is let's see something. The next level of trust is to show me something. Show me an alien's foot. Make it look good. Or show me a piece of whatever, video of an alien ship. I don't know, man. Just show us something that'll make me believe you're doing what I think you're doing. Because I don't like what I'm seeing. Everything is just same old stuff, just different narrative. Ooh, you tricked me, UAP. All right, next. It's just I need something to happen, man. I mean, this is just getting a little old.
Well, that brings up a good point, though, gentlemen, because if you look at it, and this was my next question for tonight in our roundtable discussion here on Spaced Out Radio with William Pullin, Rich Giordano, and Michael W. Hall. The comments that, Michael, you said that Luis Elizondo made on Tucker Carlson tonight, that this is extraterrestrial, groups like To the Stars have done a great job trying to separate the word UFO, get rid of it completely, and go with UAP now. But we're not allowed to include UAPs with extraterrestrial life or aliens. They are completely two different subjects, even though they are confirming that this technology is not of this world. And if it's not of this world, it's extraterrestrial. There are no ifs, ands, buts about it. You can call it semantics, whatever you want. There is no difference. If it isn't from this world, it's extraterrestrial. Where did it come from? It came from out there. What, the universe? God just made a bunch of weird UFOs that are like drones to fly around from planet to planet and solar system to solar system just for a goof? Is that what happened? Like, do they think, Michael, that we are that stupid that they are going to be able to separate UFOs or UAPs, claim that they are not of this world, but then give people hell for saying, oh, well, we're not saying there's aliens out there. We're not saying there's extraterrestrial life that's visiting this planet. It doesn't make sense. But that's the stupidity that they are trying to pull over the wool or over the eyes of people who are intelligent, like the listening audience.
Yes. Well, what they're doing right now, I believe, is they're leading us on an agenda. They know that they have certain things that they need to tick off on the agenda list, but they know how fast and probably how slow they need to go. Ever since the Brookings Institute came out with their study saying, you know what, if you come out with that now, people are not going to be able to handle that, and society will fold up. And we're going to all be in a big. Actually, what's going to happen is it's going to be harder to control the populace, the masses out there if it comes out now. So they know exactly what they're doing. They've got algorithms and AI and everything working on this problem of what the strategy is and what the pacing of it is. And someone, probably some PhD somewhere, has gone through a study and told them that, by the way, if you do this on such and such timing, you're going to have a problem. But if you do it this way, this is the best way to approach it, Matter of fact, if you remember, Richard Dolan came out a few months back with that leaked list from Russell Targ of those amazing programs that To the Stars Academy had prompted into a study from different universities out there around the world. Some of them were just up this alley that we're talking about. How are we going to deal with the public knowing certain things, the psychology of disclosure and all that kind of stuff? So I'm fully aware that they know what they're doing in this regard. It's just that we need to be very, very discerning and try to figure out, each step along the way. Are they leading us down like a primrose path, or are they leading us down a false flag path that we need to be aware of?
What do you think it is, Michael?
Well, I tell you what, I would think that if they are going to be honest with us as the public, they would come out and they would tell us what's going on. And that would be a shocker for me for them to do that. But the fact is they're not doing that. They're not standing up and, showing us an alien entity and the fact that we've been visited for eons and we've been working with aliens on our planet for, tens of generations, who knows. So what they're doing, it seems to me, is trying to control some kind of a spin, some kind of an agenda. So that's a little discouraging to me. Otherwise, they would have come out well over, 70 years ago when Roswell happened or whatever, and kind of gotten us up to speed. So obviously this MJ-12 organization or whoever's in charge of the spin right now has some agenda and or some reasons why they're not telling us the truth right from the beginning.
Your reaction, Rich?
UFOs. What are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, really?
Well,
no, because it's the same thing. I mean, when you get down to it, really, this is different than anything we've ever seen, but it's the same. I just think they're doing a little better job at it. I think they've done their research, or they've had 70 years to perfect it. But in a way, if I really want to break down and be somebody I'm not and look at it from a different lens as somebody else, not me, I would think that this looks like something is happening. They are rushing out this information. Well, not rushing. At first, it seemed like it, though, right? Month after month after month, 3-4 months in a row, there was something going on with the 3 videos, the article, and then it all stopped from them. Just weird, So it's like, did something happen and then it didn't? Like, maybe it was going to happen, they thought. Maybe there was going to be an attack. Maybe there was going to be an explosion. Maybe there was going to be a reactor. Maybe something happened. Maybe the black hole they were creating didn't happen. Maybe something was imminent. And they were trying to bring out this evidence that we may not be alone without saying it. Because that's what they're doing. No wings. It's form of a tic-tac. Moved to 24,000 miles an hour, whatever, from space to sea. Made these moves. The pilots saw it. There was 100 of them. They ran in bunches. There was a circle and a cube. My God, they were every day for 2 years. They saw UFOs. So something is telling me that this is really about aliens and UFOs. Maybe the ships are here. Maybe there's no aliens in them. Maybe they're on their way. Maybe that's what we're preparing for. They're on the way. Or it's just a story. Could be a false flag operation. So I think if this was real, and this TV show is going to be something that's going to be historic, which I really want this to be that type of show. I want it to be historic. I'm afraid it won't be, but it seems like they're trying really hard with the same group of people for the last 18 months or so to bring some new narrative, some new belief system, something that they've never done before. Maybe they wanted to do, and this is the only way they can do it. Maybe they've tested it. By flying big ships over Phoenix. How did the public react when that 2-mile wide UFO flew over Phoenix? Nobody freaked out. People talked about it. They wanted to know more about it. Then the O'Hare incident. Wow, people saw a UFO hovering over an airport, shot straight through a cloud. There's video of it. That's interesting. So there's video now. Now we know that the pilots are going to talk about it openly without being shunned upon. They're going to talk about it in the New York Times every now and then. Something's happening, and it could be a false flag, but I feel we're probably 8 years to 10 years away from that event. I think we're a ways away. A generation to get the older people who think the negatively way, they don't accept UAP, wait for them to die off, bring in everybody, 70% of the planet would be on board. That's enough for me. Let's do this thing. And then they bring the world together. I don't know. Kumbaya? It's all about money when it comes to it anyway.
You know what, though? Nobody is questioning, though. Why is it the same 3 reporters, 4 reporters on it?
Because they know they're the ones who know everything they need to know, right? Maybe that's why. Maybe we get used to seeing We get used to it. The more you get used to seeing it, the more it becomes real. Then, you see something more than 3 times. Now you're starting to believe it. That's why these politicians repeat everything over and over and over. Well, maybe it's real. They said it so many times, it's got to be real. See the same face all the time telling you the same story, the same narrative. That's what I'm going to believe. It's human instinct. That's what they're doing. This is like a psyop type of thing. They've played it out in other cities. Maybe cities that aren't so big, you wouldn't hear about it. They've studied it. They've done it. And this is what we're seeing out of it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, go off on a tangent.
That was absolutely perfect timing because we are about to go to break here at the top of the hour. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go of the SOR Paranormal Round Table. We're going to continue the heated discussion about UFOs. Where is this agenda heading? Michael W. Hall, Rich Giordano, William Pullin are our guests tonight. Stay tuned for the second hour coming up after this.
I'd wait.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
On the first Tuesday of every month, I encourage you to come along for a journey with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You. Together, we will take a look at how to access the highest expression of yourself and change your life. Consciousness, ET contact, health, and wellness, we can talk about it all. So come along for a spiritual ride with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You, only on Spaced Out Radio.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
Canada's largest UFO conference is ready to roll in Toronto this September 21st and 22nd at the Alien Cosmic Expo. This year is about the experience. Listen to the stories of Dave Scott, Travis Walton, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Ryan Stacey, Richard Dolan, Leslie Mitchell-Clark, and more. Get your tickets now at aliencosmicexpo.com. Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social media freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today. At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is Spaced Out Radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month, where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything has an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Hey, this is Canadian paranormal investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow night on the show and Sunday, Tessa Nicole Thomas is back with Spaced Out Weekend. You can hear it only at spacedoutradio.com, 9:06 Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern. She gets going. Welcome back to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates in Dangerfield, Texas, KDNF, AM 1560. In Reedsport, Oregon, KDUN AM 1030, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California. I know Chuck is going to roll his eyes on that one because I used Z instead of Z. WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, and UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans. On the digital side, hi to everyone listening in on Revolution Radio. Thank you so much for allowing us. Don't forget, you can check all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Keek. Keek is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on the mighty SOR. Our website, currently under construction, is spacedoutradio.com. The Gavinators hoping to have it up and running by Monday. Fingers crossed. The final Friday of the month, we always have the SOR Paranormal Round Table. This one is a little bit more UFO-focused, because tonight is the premiere of Unidentified, the new television series about UFOs put on by To the Stars Academy. Joining us tonight are former scientist and current UFO researcher William Pullin, the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall out of Washington State, and from GUFON Radio, Rich Giordano. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of the panel tonight.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Hot show going. This is fantastic.
Michael, I got to ask you, because we're going to continue this. I'm still heated up here. All right. How can anybody really believe that Tom DeLonge put together the To the Stars Academy? You look at the players. Let me finish here. You look at the players, the main players in this: Luis Elizondo, Chris Mellon, Hal Puthoff, Jim Semivan, and there are others. Those gentlemen have been interlinked with Skinwalker Ranch, with Robert Bigelow's Bass organization, his NIDS organization. You can also throw our former guest from just a couple of nights ago, Rick Doty, in there. You could throw John Alexander in there. You could throw a number of people in there. And these gentlemen have been working together for the last 20, 30, some even 40 years. So how are we supposed to believe Tom DeLonge when he comes out and says, I handpicked this crew to come together to bring the world disclosure in ufology, when this group has been working together both in the government and privately for decades? I got to say something right now before we go. My daughter's boyfriend, we call him Stray Dog. He just came in here. No, you're making eye contact. No eye contact. All right? I'm the father. No eye contact. Thank you for the Pepsi. He just brought me a cold Pepsi here. That's a good kid.
Nice.
Good kid. I don't like him, but he's a good kid. Thank you. Had to get that in. Thanks, Stray Dog. Anyways,
well,
Michael,
right,
go
Dave.
ahead.
I mean, yeah, you can add, Eric Davis and Kit Green to that list with Russell Targa and the rest as well. These guys have been around forever in the background. Ron Pendolfi, don't forget him. Oh my gosh, from the CIA Weird Desk and stuff. All these guys. Well,
sorry, Michael. We should also mention, Michael, that they are, a lot of these players too are part of a secret group that was nicknamed the Aviary as well. Go ahead.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, that was. You hear Grant Cameron talking about the Aviary all the time. Aviary all the time of these characters that Bill Moore had been talking about and naming. 20, 30 years ago. So they're still around. But I think you hit the nail on the head when we were off air during the break. It wasn't Tom DeLonge putting these hot shots together. I think basically when Tom DeLonge came along and showed his interest and actually put his money where his mouth is, he actually pursued the whole idea of trying to get in and seeing some of these high-level military people and scientists, and he showed the interest, and I think they picked up on that and said, you know what, our agenda is going to have to include the young people and getting them on board. This guy might not be the best guy in the world to do it, but he's got the drive. He does have the connection with some of the younger folks out there, not the baby boomers anymore. And I think that they are using him, have been using him to put this whole kind of new version of the aviary or MJ12 2.0, whatever they want to call it, together to make a concerted push right now. I think they're using him, of course, and he's more than willing to be used, obviously. I know that, by the way, Tom DeLonge has been frustrated. He'll go on Joe Rogan, he'll go on some of these shows and be very enthusiastic and try to tell people what's going on. And then he'll kind of be shunted off to the side, and some of the things that he's been talking about doesn't come true right away. I think he's been frustrated with the timing that he's been given as well. So I think that's what's going on. I think they're using him and using the same old players that Grant Gammard would talk about, to do the same old thing, throw something up against the wall so it sticks and pull it back down for plausible deniability as well.
But Rich, when you take Michael's comments, and I think they're very smart and intelligent, you take his comments and then you add to the fact that these are the same people who have been involved in this game for a long time. Once again, it makes you ask, why all of a sudden now are they getting results when 10 years ago they didn't, 20 years ago they didn't, 30 years ago they didn't, even 40 years ago they didn't get those public results?
Good question. Yeah, I think you might have to look back at the way society has changed over the last 25 years since the internet came around. And I think it has a big play in it. I think people have seen everything they're going to see. I think the public is pretty attuned as to what is being played on the internet, especially YouTube, all the videos. Everybody's seen these UFO videos. Everybody's seen volcanoes. Everybody's seen, the ice is melting. Everybody is seeing everything over and over and over again. I don't know what their intent is, Dave, but to do it this way would only make sense is if there was something at the end of the rainbow. It's the only way, or else it's all for naught. So it doesn't make sense that DeLonge would come out of nowhere from a rock band and say, hey, I'm the next guy at UFOs, and he wins the award of UFO Guy of the Year. I really didn't even know the guy was in UFOs. Never even knew he was. It's just out of nowhere, right? I mean, that's how everything in those first couple of months was like a whirlwind. And then it slowed down, it died down, the dust settled. Now everything's, the narrative set in place, and yada, yada, TV show. Where's it taking us, Dave? That's the question. Why now? Where's it taking us? I know we said this beginning of the show, but where? It would be all for naught. So DeLonge was here for the younger crowd. Elizondo now takes over for everybody. He's the voice, the face. He's the figure. The show is him. It's on right now. That's him. He's on it every second. So it may be the beginning of disclosure, whether you like it or not, or the false flag alien invasion. It's either one or the other. There's got to be an ending to this. I want to know where it's probably going to end up. The only logical thing is either we get to meet the aliens, or the aliens, we'll meet them all right, in a war, or it's all fake. There's only two ways, unless they just stop.
William, your thoughts?
Yeah, I heard you use the word results, and I don't know. Other than making the UFO issue, a little more credible in the eyes of the public, they've allowed certain media outlets, whether print or broadcast, to they certainly got more comfortable addressing the UFO issue in a legitimate manner. Okay, that's changed. Those are results. But have they brought anything non-mundane for everyone to examine? They keep claiming they have a piece of the ship. They have claimed they have parts of a UFO or an alien spacecraft they're working on. Well, show us. Show us. There's been claims about this for 70 years, and none of them have come to fruition at all. I don't know. And then, of course, you have the show, which is a television show. Television shows are not sources of vetted, legitimate evidence. They're not. They're television shows. I just don't buy it at this point, And we've discussed the gentlemen that are involved with TTSA. They have had interactions with each other for a long, long, long time. The only thing that's really changed is now DeLong is kind of the face of the TTSA. For better or worse, that's who he is. And he was not involved with bringing these people together. They were already together in some other way, shape, or form. But now they have a face, which is Mr. DeLong. So that's changed. But as far as results that we can all look at to arrive at some answers about the UFO enigma, they have not done that at all. That has not transpired. But they've changed the narrative. They've controlled that. And they've made the UFO issue more comfortable for the media to approach, although not comfortable enough yet for reporters to actually do in-depth examinations of the phenomenon. Not yet, and perhaps that'll change. But that hasn't transpired yet. But as far as results, scientifically valid results, we can all come to a consensus about? No, not yet.
Yeah,
well, that's part of the. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Rich. No, please go ahead.
I was just going to say, couldn't this just be really something simple as like making a movie? Because it is To the Stars Academy of Arts and Sciences, right? Or something like that. Couldn't this just be a couple of people, like real smart people who all have an interest in UFOs, like we've just heard the last 10 minutes, that these people, one way or another, have worked with each other. Everybody knows everybody. They just maybe haven't worked together, but indirectly they may have putting the pieces together behind the scenes. Couldn't it just be like getting the band together? Bad choice of words with DeLong, but couldn't it just be that this is just their information that they've collected, and it really has nothing to do with alien invasion, false flag? This could just be, this is as much evidence as we have. We don't really have a full spaceship. It's a lie, which means Bob Lazar lied. Or, it's compartmentalized so much that even these guys wouldn't know about it, which I believe that's true. But anyway, couldn't it just be that's what this is? It's just about getting the truth as much as they have, and it may just be little pieces of metal. And that's all it is. It's that simple. We're making it out to be like the false flag, alien invasion, it's aliens, it's got to be something, too many coincidences. Although all that stuff does make sense, it usually isn't what that is. Anyway, I just wanted to say that before I forgot.
You might be spot on. It may be as simple as that. It may be just a show. It may be just a program to promote television programs.
Because they like it. They have a passion for it.
It may be that. I mean, that's a distinct possibility. The UFO community is its own worst enemy. There's been a history of the community in general buying scenarios very quickly without any critical thought. I mean, you have Midnight in the Desert every year, and every year the poster promoting that conference says this is the year of disclosure. Or no, let me say that correctly. It says the year of disclosure. It's every year that poster has that stamped on it. People believe that. They believe this will be the year of disclosure, and it doesn't happen. And the next year comes along, and the next year. I've been hearing this is the year of disclosure since the late 80s, and it has not happened. Could it happen this year? Sure. Or, like you said, it may be just as simple as promotion of a television show, promotion of some aspect of UFOtainment. It may be something as simple as that.
Yeah.
But again, caution. If we're cautious and just wait, we will know whether it happens or not, whether we're being led along by our noses or whether this is something legitimately happening. We'll see. Time will tell.
Because these guys may be exactly what we've been waiting for our whole lives. It's guys to finally, that have credibility, seen real UFOs. Pilots flew right past them, couldn't see it with their eyes, but on radar they saw it, whatever it was. You know, just a lot of strangeness with these things, and it's something that they're all passionate about. And I think they all got together and said, why don't we just do it? Let's just do it. Who cares what the government says? Let's do it. And I think they got together and did it, and are doing it.
Look, I think the TTSA has some good people involved, okay? Everything that I have heard from people who have met Lou Elizondo will say that Lou is a very good guy. A very good guy. He wants to get this story out. He wants the public to know what is going on. He thinks it is a matter of time. I have heard this not from one or two people, but from about 14, 15 different people who have had conversations with him, say that he is very pleasant. But there is that, every now and again, he will go into that CIA type mode where he just goes a little different. You know what I'm saying? And hey, he was a spook for 20 plus years. How can he not? You can't fault him for that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this is the crowd to get it done. I hope so. I want to believe in this team. But like I said right off the top, when I asked you guys these questions, and Michael, I'm going to bring you in on this. When you have so many people who've been involved with each other under different names surrounding strange weirdness around this planet and around the United States, especially from Skinwalker Ranch on out, how do we really know that this time they're doing it for the benefit of the public? Because the public has to know, Michael.
Well, I think you're going to automatically assume they're not doing this for the benefit of the public. Let's put it that way. That's my, take right from the beginning. You always be a little skeptical coming into something that's called disclosure, or even controlled disclosure, like we're seeming to experience right now. The whole idea is that there's this switch to some kind of a disclosure has happened so quickly that either there's an off-planet or some kind of pressure to make this happen, or there's an agenda that has to be effectuated immediately. There's only two basic things that are going to be happening here. So neither one of them basically involves the best, the best scenario for the public. I think it has to do with whatever they're dealing with, either an external pressure or some kind of internal agenda that we need to be aware of as we go forth here. And I like the way William Polt says it, that we need to sit there and wait. We need to be discerning. And I like the way Rich attacks this thing with fervor as well, because this is the kind of thing, the shows that we are doing and that you will be doing, Dave, down the road here, they're going to be so important for the mass out there of the public that don't know which way to turn and will be inundated from these major television shows that are coming out with some kind of an agenda. So I'm real excited to be alive right now, for one thing. My God, it was 45 years ago when I was a field investigator for APRO, Jim and Carl Lawrenson, and I've been involved with this for a long time. And I am just so pleased as punch to even be alive with my health issues that I've had in the past, my diabetic condition and all that kind of stuff being resolved by bariatric surgery, by the way. I was like, I've got a second wind here that I'm really excited to see what's going to happen.
It's good times.
Me too. I'm very excited too, guys. I don't want to be the pessimist. I don't want to be the jerk. But there comes a point where we have to ask those questions. All right? Like I had somebody on Twitter here during the break. Let me find it here, as we got about a minute to go before we go to break here at the bottom of the hour. They literally said to me on Twitter that it's not about the public. It's not about the experiencers. Really. You know who the people are who say that? They're the people who've never had an experience.
Mm-hmm.
All right? When you have an extraterrestrial standing in front of you and you're wide awake, never mind this dream stuff, okay, like Carl at the window or the being that I saw with Samantha Mowat, that screws with your head, people. It screws with your head. All right? Travis Walton, Calvin Parker, Terry Lovelace, Betty and Barney Hill, and all the no-names of people in between. Where's their say? Are they not allowed to say because of this? That's dangerous. Whether or not TTSA or supporters or deniers want to refute this, there are people who've had some very, very extreme circumstances happen to them. And they deserve a voice. And if it isn't going to be the To the Stars Academy or anybody else, it's got to be media outlets like this one who are there to say, we're here to make sure your voice is heard. More Spaced Out Radio SOR Paranormal Roundtable right after this.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want, when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thaw, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today. Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Hanging out in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Just cracked Stray Dogs Pepsi. Tastes pretty darn good. Reminder to all of you, if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can always check out our archives. Hit that subscribe button while you're on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. We'd greatly appreciate it. And our website, spacedoutradio.com. Currently under construction, the Gavinator. Hoping to have it done this weekend, hopefully for a Monday launch. Fingers crossed, I'll let you know. And if I'm crying on Monday, you know, he needs a couple more days. The SOR Paranormal Roundtable is up tonight. We have the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall from GUFON Radio, Rich Giordano, and UFO researcher, former scientist William Pullin. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
I got to ask you guys, and Rich, we're going to start with you on this one.
All right.
When it comes to the experiencer, those who have had UFO encounters, those who have had ET contact, maybe some of these weird downloads that we have heard a lot about, or people who have been abducted and had some weird, strange, heinous operations done to them. Are we forgetting about these people as we inch towards whatever it is we're inching towards? Some people would call it disclosure, some call it confirmation, some call it soft disclosure. But nobody's talking about the experiencer right now, Rich.
2 words you just said, that's why. Right now. Yeah, right now. They're not. Because they had to turn the narrative around. Get more serious people, more serious tone to this UAP phenomena. You know what I mean? So we're bringing in the players. Because down the road, if this was about alien disclosure, then those people who have had those experiences, abductions or whatever you want to call it, interaction with aliens, what happens to all of these people? I mean, do they now get that badge of credibility? Are their family members going to pat them on the back and say, I'm sorry, I didn't believe you? Or, you know, I mean, it's a very interesting question. Nobody's talking about it. What happens to those people? I haven't even thought about it. That just goes to show you that I'm in the field and I haven't even thought about it. It's like I'm just so waiting for the alien UFO thing. I didn't think about that. That's interesting. What about cattle mutilations? You know, what about that? I mean, all that stuff is seemingly still going on. So if there was some sort of interaction with them, there must be some sort of agreement that was made. I mean, they wouldn't just come down here and steal people and cows, would they? Of course they would. We would do it too if we were more superior. You're going to stop me? So is that happening? Is that what we have to worry about? You see, you're bringing up stuff that it's going to open up another can of worms or whatever you want to call this. There's so much to unravel. It is more than just what they're talking about right now. There's this. That's why I said we're years away from a real disclosure, which I think would be an open book on aliens, where they come from, what they're made up of, what do they want, you know, their language. Maybe we just learned how to talk to them after 70 years. Maybe it took that long to figure it out. Or they said, hey, we're going to be there in 70 years. That's how long it takes. We'll be there. Get ready. For what? What do they mean, get ready? I mean, who knows, Dave? It's just we don't know. We'll never know until it happens. That's what bothers me. These poor people who've been abducted, and I don't know of any new reports because that's something I don't delve into a lot often. A lot often. That did not make sense, did it? A lot. Dave, help me out here. I don't think that anybody's talking about it.
You're from Staten Island. That's perfect English.
That was perfect English. Absolutely it was. And I think everybody knows what I mean. Nobody's talking about it. I'm surprised that it was brought up tonight because that's how much I don't think about the abductees, the experiencers, the people who channel. You know, those people been talking to the aliens, right? Yeah. What about Mars and those aliens and the moon? If disclosure's here, that's what I want to know. What's on Mars? What's on the moon, if anything? Hollowed Earth, Antarctica. My gosh, Antarctica's right there. I can see it. What's underneath the flat Earth?
Well, I want to get William's opinion on this. I know you've never had an experience, William. You've never seen a UFO or something that you qualify as a UFO. You've never been taken. You've never had an ET contact. And I know you have been very critical of those who make those claims without any sort of strong proof regarding that. However, the way this is going, are the experiencers, those who've been affected by this? Because when we look down this list, These experiences have cost people their lives, maybe through suicide. Now, people will say, well, that sounds awfully dramatic. But it's not. Some of these experiences have driven people to the point of taking their own life because they cannot handle what is going on. It has put people in asylums. It has caused divorce, losses of jobs, criminal records when there was never criminal records, because people cannot handle this. I know a gentleman who reached out to me personally. He worked in a maximum security prison, a very God-fearing man, goes to church every week. And in March of 2015, his experiences started, and they were up to 3 times a week where he was getting operated on by Grays. And he was at the point of suicide, and he reached out to me, and I helped talk him off the ledge. So I know this is happening. And they are the forgotten souls. These are, some people can't keep a job. Karina Sables, who's been on this show, with all of her experiences, she says, I can't keep a job because I never know what's going to happen and how it's going to affect me. Her family gets taken once every 7 to 10 days. This is what we're dealing with, and we don't want to talk about it. It's not part of the concept. It's not politically correct, William, to be discussing the experiences as we separate UFOs from aliens.
No, you're exactly right. You know, on a professional and a personal level, I've had a lot of interactions and taken a lot of sighting reports from individuals that have claimed to have experienced these things directly, firsthand testimony, abductions and other interactions that I can't prove scientifically, but I take it at their face value. They've experienced something that I did not. It's not my place to disrespect them. I take the data and store it away. That's they want is most of them will just want someone to talk to. They don't want an answer. They just want to get off their chest. And I don't have any perspective as to what they've gone through, what their feelings are, what they're dealing with on a personal and emotional level. So I give them the respect they deserve. But for such a, I guess we could view it as a fringe topic as the UFO issue is, for a large number of people, the claims of cattle mutilations, we'll throw that in their crop circles, abductions, or the fringe topic for a fringe topic. They're even further out there. And I recall my UFO history, NICAP was not enamored with, they wouldn't even touch UFO cases that dealt with occupants, which was bizarre. But that was their methodology. As opposed to APRO, Jim and Cora Lawrenson were much more comfortable investigating cases that involved the sighting of occupants. It was interesting how that dynamic was at play for all those years. MUFON has clearly been comfortable with about occupants and the scenario of abductions. But there's been a concerted effort by the TTSA and these other media outlets this narrative has been established to gain some level of credibility for the UFO issue. On some level, they've discussed parts of a craft that they've recovered. They're working on. So that kind of goes down the nuts and bolts alley. It really doesn't really address the experiences, the abductors, the abducted individuals. Excuse me. So maybe they'll start attacking that data on some level, including it in their releases at some point. I don't know. But as of right now, they've kind of stuck to the nuts and bolts part. Flight characteristics, excuse me, flight characteristics, speed, maneuverability, pieces of a craft. It's very nuts and bolts. That's not abductions. That's not interactions with occupants. They haven't gotten that far yet. Perhaps they will at some point. But they seem like they're trying to build a foundation of credibility for the UFO issue before they possibly expand on other topics specific to that. And that's my take on it. We'll see what the future holds again. Patience. So,
Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer. There's a lot of people out there who have had a lot of experiences that they can't explain. And by the way, on Skype, I got a beautiful shot of up your nose right now, bud. Oh, you moved your camera. I was enjoying that, Mike. I was enjoying that.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
That's all right.
A lot of hair up there.
So for people who can't see it, Michael, for some reason, turned his camera on Skype, and it was pointing like right up his nose. And I think I saw a couple goblins up there. I really do. Hey, buddy, how are you?
That's even probably scarier on radio than it would be on video, just describing that. Holy mackerel. Sorry about that. What I did is I switched over to a headset rather than my my AirPods there. So hopefully my audio is still okay.
You're a little bit tinny, but we could hear you. But nonetheless, Michael, when it comes to the experiencers, are they the forgotten souls, in your opinion, through this entire process? Because nobody's talking about them. Nobody's talking about those who have had these extraordinary experiences that they can't explain and that has affected every part of their life.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's a concerted effort to make sure that they steer away from the people who have actually had contact. I mean, my gosh, let's put it this way. If you were in charge of an agenda of disclosure somehow, whether it's going to be, tweaked or, kind of twisted in a certain way, whatever you want to do, the last thing you want to do is bring in the folks that really know what's going on here. That's not in the agenda right now. Down the road, if there's any way that they can figure out how to control some of those experiencers and bring out some of the ones that they want you to hear and to believe, I'm sure that they will. But right now, it's just it's the Wild West out there as far as experiencers go. You're not going to be able to control the massive amount of experiencers that have been even studied. The whole idea was that the Brookings Institute and some of the Free Study, Edgar Mitchell's group, has come out, and the numbers of people that supposedly have had experiencing situations are astronomical. Maybe even 4% of the entire population of the planet, or even more than that. So it's natural that they're steering away from that right now. That's not a part of the controlled disclosure that's going to be put out there for the time being. And it's going to be interesting to see if those experiencers out there are able to group together and demand even more transparency from their own experiences, rather than just the controlled disclosure that's going on.
I'm going to just tell you guys something that just happened a couple of seconds ago. About 26 minutes ago, one of our listeners, Trippin' Fool, on Twitter, sent out a tweet saying, listening to @SpacedOutRadio and @GUFON Radio, and they weren't holding back on @ToTheStars Academy and the unidentified on the hashtag unidentified show. Could unidentified just be another infomercial? Well, about a minute ago, the unidentified responded. They said, this is the real deal. The process continues. So I have now responded, and I've said, then get your boys to come on Spaced Out Radio and answer some questions. We're open for business. They've dodged our media requests to date. And now we wait, gentlemen. Now we wait, ladies.
Fantastic.
That's amazing.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Well, this is breaking news here, because I tell you what, there are people out there that are watching what's going on. They're listening in. They know what certain radio show hosts are talking about, and it's going to be very interesting to see if they put their whatever they have where their mouth is and come on their show. That would be awesome.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
They responded. We've fired back. We have fired back.
Yeah, the ball's in their court, so, yeah.
If they dodge that again, then you know that they have no interest.
Right.
No desire.
Yeah.
So if if whoever's on the unidentified, if they're listening in right now, we go to break in 5 minutes. if you tweet me a DM, I'll give you the phone number. You guys can call in.
That would be awesome.
Get somebody from your team to call in. We got some questions.
Well, it'd be perfect to do here in about 7 minutes when the show is ended. That would be a perfect follow-up to their premieres to come on Spaced Out Radio and defend their position and tell us a little bit about the show, what they thought about the first episode.
Well, why not?
That's exactly what they have to do.
Come on. I'll push this I know I can't do it on the terrestrial side, but on the digital side, I would push this to overtime if they call in.
Yeah, they won't, though. They're not allowed to. They'll get demoted or fired.
You know that, and I know that. But let's call a spade a spade. There are people who are listening to this show who are experiencers. They want to know what's going on. Fill us in. That isn't too much to ask.
No, not at all.
Wow.
No. And these are all legitimate questions. These aren't attempts at character assassination. These are legitimate questions that have not been addressed that should be addressed. People deserve to know. The entire
brings up Rich or William, that brings up a good point. Who have I ever character assassinated on this show? I even gave Street Lamp Guy a professional interview over a 23-second videotape of a street lamp. I've never thrown a guest under the bus.
Yeah. That's journalistic integrity on display. That's what it is. I mean, as a journalist, and I'm putting words in your mouth, I'm not a journalist, but I would think that a journalist is searching for the truth. They're searching for data, legitimate, vetted information. And if they're interviewing somebody, they're attempting to get information from that person. If that person has different positions or different opinions, it's not the journalist's job to attack them. It's the journalist's job to have that person defend their position, to show them the data and tell them how they arrived at their position. And that's it. You never attacked anybody. The issue is when individuals in the UFO community have a certain position or a certain belief structure. A red flag for me is when they resort to character assassinations during conversations. When somebody makes a comment that's not to their liking, they attack the person as opposed to the data. And
all right,
that's troublesome.
All right, well, just doing a little bit more of the research here. This is a web. They got a website, the-unidentified.net, which seems like it's a podcast that has been set up by a couple of fans. So they're not really tied to the television show. They're just groupies.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go. Well, so much for that hype. Boy.
Yeah.
That kind of sucked. That died quickly.
Typical unidentified type of stuff we always deal with. All talk, no showy. Look over here while we do this over there.
Well,
it's all magic.
Well,
that's kind of true. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
We got about a minute to go before the break here, gentlemen. We got a minute to go.
Sorry. Yeah, it was an accident.
Well, that kind of took the wind out of the sails right off the bat there. My goodness.
You know, but the scenario would have that could have bared some fruit. You know, if they had made an effort to directly address these questions on your program, that would have gone a long way. But they've been controlling not just the narrative, but the amount of information. They want us to know what they want us to know. They're not willing to just allow these individuals to be interviewed on every program out there. and they wanted to get the word out. And if it was, at least from a public relations standpoint, it's a big red flag when you don't allow your individuals who are involved in your organization to appear on certain shows. It's a certain number of shows they're allowed on, and then everyone else is kind of off the radar. And that's a big red flag to me. I mean, it would be like a politician appearing on only a couple of media outlets and then ignoring all the other ones. No, that you would want that person to appear on as many outlets as possible, whether that outlet advocates their position or not. Their job is to answer questions.
That's right.
Legitimate.
That's right.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, you both hold on. Michael, you hold on because you look beautiful on your camera. The SOR Paranormal Round Table has one more hour to go here. We'll see where it goes. Stay tuned. We're going to have some fun right after this. At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR, where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com, where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com, and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Canada's largest UFO conference is ready to roll in Toronto this September 21st and 22nd at the Alien Cosmic Expo. This year is about the experience. Listen to the stories of Dave Scott, Travis Walton, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Ryan Stacey, Richard Dolan, Leslie Mitchell-Clark, and more. Get your tickets now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
From the mile-high mountains of Colorado to all of you around the world, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I invite you to stick around SpacedOutRadio.com for Saturday and Sunday nights where I host Spaced Out Weekend. Let me take you on a wild ride of weird and strange topics from ghosts and ETs to remote viewing, psychic phenomena, and so much more. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern Time on Spaced Out Weekend, where we own the night.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
You know, it's hard being the bad man of ufology, but that's just the way that I like it. This is Chris George Zuger, and I'll be hanging out with Dave Scott and SOR scientist Chris Cogswell for Reality Paranormal, the second Wednesday of every month. And our job is to break it down and come to conclusions as to what is really going on in the supernatural world. I'd love for you to join us right here on Spaced Out Radio.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
On the first Tuesday of every month, I encourage you to come along for a journey with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You. Together, we will take a look at how to access the highest expression of yourself and change your life. Consciousness, ET contact, health, and wellness, we can talk about it all. So come along for a spiritual ride with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You, only on Spaced Out Radio.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Welcome back to the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for being with us. Tomorrow night on the show and Sunday, the gorgeous and talented Tessa Nicole Thomas is back with Spaced Out Weekend at spacedoutradio.com. Both times, 9 o'clock Pacific, 12 o'clock Eastern at spacedoutradio.com. Hi to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California. Down in New Orleans, UPRN 107.7 FM. And we're on WQEE 99.1 FM in Union, Georgia. KDNF AM 1560 in Dangerfield, Texas. And in Reedsport, Oregon, KDUN AM 1030. On the digital side, hi to everyone on Revolution Radio. Do not forget, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Keek. Keek is your password. Be sure to use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night, right here on the mighty SOR. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. Talking with the Gavinator today. He's hoping to have it up by Monday, so stay tuned for that. We got Rich Giordano from GUFON Radio, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer, and William Pullin, former scientist, current UFO researcher out of Texas. This is the SOR Paranormal Round Table. We do it the final Friday of every month. Gentlemen, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
We've been focusing a lot on UFOs, especially with the debut of Unidentified tonight, the Stars Academy's newest television show. Guys, with the military, it also came out this month that the United States Navy was now going to be recording these incidents and actually filing them, trying to pull off that they had never done that before. Now, we have heard from many pilots over time who've said, hey, if I reported something like that, I would lose my gig. I would lose my job. I would lose my seat in the craft. I'd be sitting at some desk pushing paper instead of up in the air. I wasn't taking a chance on that. But now, allegedly, they're paying attention. William, I want to start with you on this one. Do you buy the United States Navy's answer to that they are just starting to create a file for all these UFO reports?
In a word, no. No. I think the branches of the military have been continuing to investigate and catalog UFO sightings and reports since the public investigation of Blue Book ended in '69. I don't believe that they would have ceased any kind of investigative efforts and then started them again at a later date. I mean, there's been documentation that's been recovered and vetted and is held up under scrutiny on multiple occasions since 1969 that has showed that the military at least had a cursory interest, a passing interest in UFO sightings, whether they were in the continental U.S. or not. There was that military interaction with UFO over Tehran, Iran back in '76, and documentation was recovered that the U.S. Air Force had sent operatives there to find out what was going on. That shows to me that they're still interested in it. So I don't believe their statement at all. I think they've been continuing. All that's changed is they've decided to be more open about it, but I don't think they would have just started now. No, I think they've been doing that all along. And that makes sense to my way of thinking. I mean, they're pilots. They're reporting things. They're reporting interactions with unauthorized or unidentified objects in the air. So it's logical that they want to at least catalog and investigate what they think potentially are. It's their job. Their job is to protect the public. Therefore, if something's unidentified, they wouldn't know if it was a threat or not. Therefore, they should do their job. And they may not be doing it in a public way, but I think it's a safe assumption that they would have been doing this all along. So that's a long way of saying no.
Very interesting. Michael W. Hall, from a legal standpoint, are people naive enough to even believe this? That it's just now where the United States Navy is saying, oh, well, yeah, we're going to create a file on this now. You know, we've been having these incidents for decades, but, now is when we're going to start reporting on it.
Yeah. Well, of course they are. They're gullible enough. All you got to do is just kind of hear it more often from the powers that be, the military, the government officials, and that's what what the 80-20 rule is all about. 80% of folks are just going to follow the party line. But I think the consciousness level on the planet is rising swiftly enough that there's going to be a lot of folks that are going to be asking the tough questions. Not just us who have been in the field for a while, not just researchers and ufologists, but literally the people that are in the masses out there are becoming, through the internet and through the instant availability of information, are going to ask the harder questions themselves. I mean, let's face it. At one point, there is going to be some kind of disclosure of, well, here's the deal. These things are not from the planet. Therefore, they've got to be from somewhere else. If they're from somewhere else, that means they've got to travel quite a long way to get here. And they must have some technology that is far superior than what we've been able to do for the last 100 years or more. So they must be well advanced of us. If you've known about these kinds of craft zooming around our skies for periods of time, why haven't we been able to use some of this technology ourselves? Then it goes to some of the questions of where did some of these amazing inventions come from that we've been experiencing the last just few years when it comes to technology skyrocketing like it has been. And why haven't the masses been able to use some of this technology for the betterment of everyone? So those are the hard questions that are going to come out here, because I think that the public is ready to start asking these questions. They're not going to just be led down the primrose path or a fake alien invasion as easily as I think that some people think they would be.
Rich Giordano, your thoughts? Here's
on what?
On the Navy, man. No. Let me preface this by saying this: if the United States Navy is just starting to keep reports, and they've announced that they're just starting to do this, how the hell do they have all this video footage?
Are you asking?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was rhetorical. Well, we all know what they have. They have a lot of footage from the Nimitz. That's all they got. You know that. That's it. Isn't that it? Isn't that what they're saying? That's all they got? No, they're not. There's more than that. They were talking about how there's footage of the same UFOs, mind you, but that there's several minutes of very clear, non-FLIR footage, if I remember hearing that correctly. So there is footage. Now, if you're talking about a lot of footage over the years, of course they got footage over the years. Unless they burned it with the moon calculations, how to get to the moon and back, all the telemetry data. They burned it all. I don't know, man. Nobody knows. It's all a ruse anyway. See, now look at me. I'm all down and sour about the whole thing. Because, the more I talk about it, the more I feel like I'm being duped. Anyway, yeah, it is interesting, though, how they have all this footage. We never looked into it. We never cared that much for it. Of course you did. OSAP, ATIP, who are we kidding? Project Blue Book way back when. The whole history.
Within the last few months, there was and William, I'm sure you know a little bit about this, the same as Rich and Michael. There was a conference that Lou Elizondo spoke at, I believe it was in Arkansas, that had a number of scientists. You had to be a scientist, and you had to apply to get into this conference to watch Elizondo speak. And afterwards, people who had recorded the conversation and recorded portions of his speech were told to take it off of social media, that they were not granted permission to do so, even though there were no signs up at that conference that said videotaping or audio recording was not allowed. Everett Thiemer messaged me here And he says, you remember there was that uproar about that conference threatening people over releasing videos of the speakers, that part of Elizondo's speech there would all of a sudden be shown on Unidentified tonight. Apparently, according to Everett, there is a clip of him speaking at the podium saying Cherry Hill, which is where that conference was at. And this would explain why they didn't want anything coming out of there if they knew that excerpts were going to be a part of the show. So as Everett is now stating, and I'm going to get William, I'm going to get your opinion on this first, being the scientist or former scientist. Everett is now asking, the question now becomes, was this the message aimed at the science people there, or designed to fit into the framework of this television show that Lou was speaking in front of a bunch of scientists?
My first gut instinct is that it was set up to look like he's talking to these scientists. Again, they're controlling the narrative. They don't want this. They didn't want his presentation to be released to the public, i.e., by social media or whatever other platform you want to name. They wanted no part of that. They wanted those recordings off of social media. That way they could, in their own good time, for their own methods, release those presentations edited in a certain way on their show. It's the same thing. It's controlling the narrative. It's not just controlling the amount of information and how quickly we get it, also controlling how it's framed, how it's edited, how it's presented. That's controlled. So it seems to me like it's just an extension of what they've been doing all along. The fact that they had no signage at the conference stating recordings, whether audio or video, are not allowed, they didn't add that at all. But yet after he gave that presentation, individuals are told they can't share it on social media when it's recorded on their own devices. That's a red flag. And then it comes out later on the show that they have excerpts from it. It's troubling. It's the same thing. They're controlling what's being released and how it's being released and how it's framed. That's all controlled on their part. It's the same thing. It's the way UFO information has been controlled by the government/military. We know what we know because we've been informed. We've been told this by the powers that be. Despite the powers of FOIA, we've been unable to recover a lot of information. That's my gut feeling about that. It's the same thing. Control the narrative.
Michael, your thoughts? I think Michael forgot to take his mic off of mute.
Uh-oh.
Okay, here we go. Okay, now I'm back.
Okay, there
I'm sorry about
there
that.
There he is.
Okay, I was just going to agree with William there and basically jump in because I have an example of just exactly what we're talking about here from the McMinnville UFO Festival that just took place a couple of weekends ago, with Bob Lazar being there, Commander David Fravor being there, Jeremy Corbell, and George Knapp doing interviews on stage and talking with one another about the Tic Tac video, Dave Beatty's Nimitz Encounters film that just came out, and a bunch of stuff. And one of the things they do from every session out there, of course, at McMinnville is they say, please don't do your own video recording. We don't want this all over social media because we are creating our own videos that we are going to set up and we're going to edit. They're going to be very professional. We want to basically kind of control the quality of the videos, and we pretty much all agree with that. I don't think anybody did anything on Twitter or Snapchat or anything like that was out of line. But what happened was, this is just strange because it happened just, was it only 3 or 4 days ago? No, it was over Memorial Day weekend. What happened was Dave Beatty's Nimitz Encounters video had just come out, and it was doing blockbusters on the internet. And what happened was there was a leak from the McMinnville video producers who were actually doing their thing by putting their video production together, and they used Facebook as a kind of like a download mechanism to put some of the clips up there while they were putting it together and editing it. And some of those clips were on there long enough that people grabbed a few of them and actually put them on social media. So they got leaked before the final product was going to be released by the McMinnville UFO Fest. So unfortunately, there was some spots during David Fravor's interview where he was basically dissing Dave Beatty's video, Nimitz Encounters film, and it got out into the public. And that was a big issue shortly thereafter the thing was aired. So that's exactly what's going on with To the Stars Academy. They don't want anybody out there picking and choosing some parts of someone's speech, Luis Elizondo's presentation, whatever happens, in a Wild West kind of atmosphere. They want to have control of whatever the thing is going to be released, because they want to know the quality and basically the narrative that they want to produce.
And you can't blame them for that. You
No.
really can't blame them for that. But on the flip side, you can't tell people to take down their videos, even though they did out of their goodness of their heart, when there's nothing posted on the tickets or posted around the conference center that they cannot be recorded.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm assuming people either had to pay or be on a list to get in there anyway. So there's some kind of consideration there for them being present. And it's very difficult to control, public presentations and the content of those things, unless you've got everybody signing a waiver or you've got disclaimers everywhere. Being a lawyer, you know how those things work, and then, my gosh, if you don't have some solid proof that everyone in that place knew and agreed to the terms of non-disclosure, then you're out of luck.
Yeah.
How about this? How about the whole thing was a setup? They knew people were going to take pictures. They wanted it to leak.
Yeah, I like it. That's the way I
it's a possibility. Yeah.
And they do that. That's how they get the information moving without moving the information.
Yeah.
Capiche? They get other people to do it.
And a leak like that starts to buzz 10 times more than would if you tried it your normal PR release. My God, that's exactly the counterintelligence kind of way to do things.
Well, that's why there was nothing on the tickets. There were no signs on the doors. They know what they're doing.
Oh, yes, they do. Of course, yeah, they know exactly whatever, regardless of what they're doing, whether they're trying to control the narrative or whatever angle they're playing, they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're trying to accomplish. It seems like they're trying to avoid, despite the fact that they're getting negative feedback, they're trying to avoid that. They're not allowing individuals to appear on certain shows, so they're not having to confront the issue directly. They're not going to be asked any uncomfortable questions. In other words, questions that should be answered. They're not going to put themselves in that position. They're not allowing individuals to record certain individuals so that the public can consume the video without any kind of level of control. They just want to maintain control as to what's being released, whether directly from them or indirectly through individuals recording stuff or someone appearing on a podcast or a program or radio or what have you. It may be as simple as that, or like Rich said, it may be something else. So, but they know what they're doing.
The fact that it shows up on the television show is a little bit eye-opening. It really is.
Yes.
Especially when you have a bunch of scientists who paid their own money to get there. And I want to thank my buddy Tom for saying it was in Huntsville, Alabama, not in Arkansas. That's my apologies. It was the Anomalous Aerospace Phenomena Conference that went on.
Did they?
Okay.
Did they pay for it, Dave? Did they pay?
Yes, they
Did anybody
did.
get a receipt? You see a receipt? I haven't.
I talked to two scientists who were in attendance. One a young Canadian man who didn't want me to mention anything on the record with him, but I do know who he is.
Hearsay.
And where's the video? Where's the proof? I can see
So
B.
he was
Baker.
there?
I can see B. Baker in the chat room right now. Where's my proof? Damn it! Where's my proof?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's why there wasn't anything on the tickets that says you can't have any camera, nothing on the doors, no signs posted. Because if they tried to go after them, look, you got to give us your camera, you got to give us that evidence back. It would have been a nightmare for the press. No, not for them, because of the press. If the press got wind of that, that's why I think it was leaked.
They're trying to avoid that. They're trying to avoid that kind of
right, the negative stuff. It was a leak.
That's
Purposeful.
a possibility. Yeah. But on the other side of the coin, a legitimate release of a pre-scheduled release of information doesn't garner as much excitement as a leak would.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
A leaked, any kind of information that would have been leaked, in other words, secretly somehow somebody recorded a video and got it out there under their noses, is going to garner a lot more attention as opposed to, well, we're going to release information Tuesday on the 24th at 6 p.m. Central Time. It's scheduled. No one's going to. They'll pay attention to it. But a leaked one that has a air of mystery about it, excitement.
Oh yeah, we got one over on them. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would garner much more attention. So.
Gentlemen, we are going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. We have a half hour left in the SOR Paranormal Round Table. We are joined tonight by GUFON Radio's Rich Giordano, Michael W. Hall, the Paranormal Lawyer, along with former scientist, current UFO researcher, William Pullin. The SOR Round Table happens the final Friday of every month. The next one will be on Friday, June 28th. Hard to believe June is just around the corner. We'll be back with more Spaced Out Radio right after this.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch. Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now. The Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, hanging out with all of you on a Friday night, early Saturday morning. Hope you have just a wonderful weekend. Tomorrow night, I'm actually going back up onto the mountains with Bazooka Joe and Mikey from the chat room. We are going out looking for Bigfoot tomorrow night. Going to be a lot of fun. We're bringing lawn chairs this time. There was a lot of standing the last time. Bringing lawn chairs. Hopefully we'll find some Sasquatch. Don't know. Remind all of you that if you want to check out this show or others on our archives, you could go to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. All of our archives are free for you. The only thing we ask you to do, hit that subscribe button. We would appreciate that. And of course, our website, spacedoutradio.com, under construction. The Gavinator's hoping to have it done by the end of the weekend. Fingers crossed so we could get it up for Monday. For the final time tonight, we introduce William Pullin, Michael W. Hall, Rich Giordano. They are the panel of the SOR Paranormal Round Table that happens the final Friday of every month. Gentlemen, I want to go over a timeline with you. Everett, myself, and Captain Shirk put together a little bit of a timeline here of some of the stories that have happened. And it's kind of interesting because not a lot has happened over the last couple of years come summertime. So if we go back, starting on October 11th, 2017, that's where Tom DeLonge announces his pressless press conference of the To the Stars Academy. On the 19th of October, Oumuamua is first observed. 26th of October, DeLonge does that hideous interview with Joe Rogan, where he's almost kicked out of TTSA. Then we're silent until December 16th, where the New York Times article is reported. That is followed up on the same date with the release of the Tic Tac and Gimbal videos. February 24th, 2018, 2 commercial pilots report a UFO over Arizona. March 9th, the Go Fast video is released of 2018. March 12th, 2018, Luis Elizondo interviewed on Fox News with Tucker Carlson for the first time. Then it goes to June 18th. That's when President Trump announces the new Space Force. September 17th, 2018, Sunspot Solar Observatory shut down for weird, strange incidents that was allegedly child porn. November 26, 2018, Insight Lander sets down on the Martian surface. Then January 3rd, China lands their rocket on the moon. January 8th, 2019, this is all this year coming up now. Project Blue Book hits History Channel. 2 days later, Harry Reid announces he is lobbying Congress in the United States for more UFO research and funding. March 2nd, SpaceX sends first human-related spacecraft to space. March 12th, Unidentified is announced. March 17th, Elizondo discusses metamaterials at the conference down in Alabama that we just talked about. April 23rd, new UFO reporting guidelines announced by the Navy. The Pentagon also releases a couple days later that they have been doing this. May 16th, Senator Ted Cruz says the U.S. needs a space force to guard against space pirates. And then on the 26th, the second New York Times article appears. Now, there's a bunch of little things in between that, but those are the big ones. That's a pretty wide timeline setting up for a television show. Is it not, Rich?
Of course. Of course. It all makes sense. Do you really think it's about the television show? I think the television show is a bridge. It's going to give us information. Right now, they're just setting us up, things we know, familiar with, to get used to the characters and see them moving around on TV. They're going to do something in the second half of these 6 episodes that is going to be groundbreaking. If they don't, it's a waste. So that's why I think something is going to come out of this show. They have pushed everything towards this moment. Doesn't it only seem obvious that it would have to be the show that gives us the next level maybe of information, or some are calling the paradigm shift. I hate. I'm trying. Okay, I really am. I'm trying to believe there's something positive coming out of this, something more than we've ever known. But I'm afraid, I don't know. We talked about it earlier. See, it's very confusing because you want to say one thing and then you think about it while you're saying it and you're like, well, maybe not. It could be a million other things. So I don't know. I'm just, like I said earlier, I'm confused. I'm just hoping it's going to go in a direction we all think it's going. But unfortunately, as history has told us, it's about to come to an end.
Michael W. Hall, the timeline. There's a lot going on in the last 2 years, probably more so in the last 2 years than the last 25 years. When you look at the timeline, is this all a setup? Or is this all information leading to something bigger named disclosure?
Well, I believe it is a setup. Setup for what? That's going to be the major question. There is just, this is the good thing about age. You get a perspective on things, when you've lived a while. The fact that this stuff is happening so quickly right now, right in front of our faces and being on mainstream media without the snicker factor any longer. The fact that they're talking about Oumuamua maybe being an extraterrestrial craft or probe. The fact that Luis Elizondo and this unidentified television series is confirming that these things aren't from our planet, that they've got metamaterials from the down craft that they're studying that seem to affect the human physiology. All of these things are happening so fast that if you've got the perspective of time, you realize there's something up. Something is about to happen. And I just am always kind of skeptical and discerning here when something like this happens so quickly after we have all been interested and hoping that something like this would happen for years and decades when all of a sudden it does happen. So I think that some of the scenarios we've talked about are valid, that maybe there is some off-planet pressure, that something is going on, something is going to come down that they can't control, and so they're trying to stay ahead of the spin on that. Or there's some kind of internal issues going on between the powers that be. Now, we have to realize that maybe the people that are in charge of this planet are not all on the same page on what they want to do. And potentially one faction or the other might be either pulling a coup of their own or, drawing a hand that's maybe a power play. So there's all sorts of scenarios that we can talk about, but the fact is there's something happening very unusually right now that we are all in the midst of. And so I'm hoping that everyone will keep their perspective and be discerning when it does come out, because it's amazing. I'm excited to be alive and experiencing whatever's going to happen next.
How about you, William? Did we lose William? I don't think we did.
Oh, there you go. Sorry. Broke up for a second. No, I don't know. The amount of information that's being given out is very controlled, fragmented, incomplete. So I can't draw any conclusions. I mean, this might lead to something that might end up resembling some level of disclosure, or it might lead nowhere. I don't know. I keep using the word cautious. I'm cautious about it. We'll see as time moves forward. Will these releases continue? Will this active scenario continue and we get more and more information and more is released to us so we can draw some conclusions about it? Or is this all going to end and end up being a farce? Or we've been led by our noses down a pathway that's going to bear no fruit? We just don't know. No one knows. because we don't know everything. That's kind of what we're living with.
Here's something to think about with all this fast-breaking, whatever you want to call it, disclosure, controlled disclosure, revelations that they're coming out with. The fact is that if they stop soon with the end of this television series in the 6 episodes, and they don't go any further at all in trying to resolve the tension that they're putting out there, they themselves are going to lose credibility. So they already know that this is kind of beyond the tipping point at this point. They are in a position where they have to do something. They have to have some kind of resolution or conclusion to this agenda, whether it's going to be a control agenda, whether it's going to be a total, informational download and disclosure agenda. I don't know what it is, but there's no way they can go back. Once they get to a certain point, they realize, I'm sure, they can't just go back and do nothing like they did right after the New York Times article in 2017. I mean, they have got to have some kind of agenda that they know that they're going to at least head towards at this point, because it's striking what they're doing.
Yes, they are committed to this pathway. They can't just stop, because it would make them look bad on a very professional level. So, yeah, they're committed to continue. In that way, at least, because they're so committed, they almost have no choice but to continue to give us information. They have no choice but to continue releasing stuff to us on a fairly consistent basis. Because when the New York Times story came out, I was kind of waiting for the next shoe to drop. It didn't for a while. There was this long period of time where nothing happened. People start to forget things. They have very short attention spans. So they kind of learned from that. And since that happened, they've been fairly consistent to continue to keep themselves in the news, keep themselves in the limelight. So, but I agree, they're committed.
Where do we go from here? And the reason why I ask that is we can only speculate what the next 5 episodes are going to be like of the TTSA. We can only speculate whether or not this is going to continue a lot of hot UFO talk in the mainstream media and in the mainstream public as well for the next number of months until there are more releases. Because everything right now is going to be based on viewership and numbers. We can all agree on that over the next couple of episodes.
Yes.
But for ufology, when this hype starts to die down, William, where do we go from here?
I keep my nose to the grindstone. I keep doing what I'm doing, regardless of what's happening with this scenario. From my point of view, it's been a positive thing because the media, certain media outlets are treating the subject matter more legitimately, less tongue-in-cheek, in a more serious light. So that's a good thing, regardless of what the end result is. At least for this time frame, this time period, they're treating it as a legitimate news topic. Above and beyond that, I just keep doing what I'm doing and remain uncommittal, remain cautious about what the future holds, and whatever the end result is, then just analyze how we got there and analyze to see if the information that we actually gathered gets us in any direction that we weren't, gets us any further than where we were before, which is not very far because we don't have any answers to this phenomenon, really. So we'll see. Some level of disclosure would really help us get somewhere in a more positive light. But right now, we just really have a lot of data, but not a huge amount of physical stuff to really be able to make any definitive declarations as to what's going on. We all kind of know something. We know something's going on. We just don't know what. And if we had some level of disclosure from the government and the military, we might be a little easier. It might be easier to actually definitively say perhaps what's going on, or what possibly might be going on. But that's my take on it. So.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Michael?
I think that this is something that we've kind of hit the nail on the head during the last few minutes of the show here. The fact that they have actually gone beyond the turning back point. They have got to have some kind of a resolution of this new information and this continued kind of hype that's going on. So I'm going to be very discerning at this point to figure out which way they're going to go, because it seems to me that they can't keep this pace up right now for very long without having to come with a major announcement one way or another. They're just going to lose credibility if they don't have something that's very important to say. Let's just put it that way. So I can't wait to hear what that's going to be.
How about for you, Rich?
I think we're in for a disappointment. That's all. I think, it's just, where are they going to go? What are they going to do? What's it all for? I don't know. Could just all be a social test. I just don't know. There's too many things that are left open that we need to know that should have been explained to us. Like the question of the night, why now? They haven't even brought it up. You think they would put it out there like, why now, TTSA? Well, I'll tell you why now. But they didn't do that. Of course, they're controlling everything, but I don't know. I mean, I started off this show tonight thinking, well, maybe it's aliens on the edge and they're watching, and then it could be this false flag alien invasion. Then now I turned into, well, maybe it's just about being creative and showing the world that there is something strange going on, with this TV show and all the most important people they could possibly find. It could just be that. But to change the narrative the way they're doing it, it's really interesting how they're trying to change everything for the public, not just, for arts and sciences. It's literally to get the public involved. So that is an interesting thing we're seeing here. The continuing narrative is one of I've never seen before, a continuing story. And there's a lot of weird things going on in between TTSA meetings and UFO sightings. It's very interesting. And I like where we are right now. It's, let's wait and see what happens with the TV show time. So we got another 6 weeks of talking at least, right? So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, it is creating a buzz. And that's a good thing. And, I know we have done a lot of hyping and harping on what we feel is right and what we feel is wrong. And we're no experts here. We're just bringing out some facts. But the key is, gentlemen, I think in the end, if the mainstream public and the mainstream media continue to start to accept the fact that this phenomenon is real, that it is happening, that this is something that affects every single person on this planet, that's a good thing. That's a win for all of us. It really is a win for all of us. And I think we do have to look at that. TTSA has done a very good job at helping finally get the word taken seriously about UFOs. And we can't take that away from them, no matter what happens. You cannot take that away from them. Rich Giordano, thank you so much for coming on the round table tonight. Tell everybody where they can find... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Tell people where they can find me?
Yeah.
I ruined everything. I'm the worst and the best. You can find me on YouTube under GUFON Radio stream, Facebook. Don't even bother. It's full. But anyway, it's GUFON Network. Go over to GUFON.net and join the GUFON Network. It's all public. You can share, make your own page, make your own friends like Facebook for UFO people. And we're on every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. GUFON Radio stream. I'm Richard Giordano. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Thank you so much, Michael W. Hall, the Paranormal Lawyer, for joining us again tonight. You were fantastic.
Oh, you're welcome, Dave. Thank you for allowing me to be on this quite historic show, I believe. It's going to be fun. People can always find us on Facebook at UFO I-Team. It's the lowercase I. And matter of fact, I want to invite everybody, if you have an opportunity, tomorrow night on Facebook at UFO I-Team at 6:30, we are now getting into live streaming our sky watches. And we have some amazing anomalies that we get to show folks all around the world while we're out there with our gear and our night vision and our FLIR photography.
Yes.
So that's what's happening with us.
Cool.
Perfect. William Pullin and your power goatee.
Yes,
great job tonight, buddy. Thank you so much. I'm going to have to keep it short here because we got to start getting out. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thaw rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Don't forget this weekend, Tessa Nicole Thomas is back at spacedoutradio.com with the weekend show. 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern is when she gets going. SOR Media Ventures Limited and Spaced Out Radio has this show copyright, so please ask us for permission. Thank you for being here all week, people. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you all on Monday. I enjoyed our week together because together, my friends, we own the night. See you Monday. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Good night.